Hey, what's up YouTube? If you're new here, my name is Danny James, and in this video I'm going to be showing you smooth freeze frame transitions that no one is using. Let's get into it. Okay, I have my timeline set up already so that you can do this in the most efficient way. I want to be showing you how to create a freeze frame. I assume that you already have the basic knowledge of that. So the basic idea is to take the first frame of your clip, duplicate it, right click, add a frame hold, and then you draw a mask around it by going to your opacity and then getting the free draw bezier. And then once you do that, you need to cut anything that comes before and extend it to your left hand side. So that's what I've basically done in every example that I'll be demonstrating. And then one thing that you should also note, whenever you've created a mask on your subject, always come back and change your feather to around 5, or just basically reduce the feathering from the default 10. Okay, so this is at 10, this is at 5 if I undo that, and then try to reduce your expansion. Mine is at -2 right now. By default it should be at 0. You can see these small lines, so I encourage you to look at these settings beforehand. And for the first transition that I want to show you, just make sure that you have a good enough length of your clip to work around with. And then I want us to add a nest, so I'll right click on it and nest it. Okay, so this freeze frame comes before the clip right here. Okay, and I will also make sure it has the same color, and then I can trim it however I want. Now you can go to your effects and look for a strobe light, add it onto that nest. Okay, and then make sure it operates on color only. In this case it will be the default white color, and then you can adjust the strobe duration to create a good rhythm. So if I put 0.1, the period needs to be 0.2. Right now it looks something like this. Okay, so I'd rather reduce the timing a little bit, so I'll put 0.08, and then the period should be twice that amount, which is 0.16. Yeah, and then you can also increase the random seed so that it's a bit more random. Last step, just go to your scaling, add a keyframe for scaling, push that keyframe to the end, and then you can begin the value at a lower figure, something like 4, such that you can see it just from afar, and that way it should look something like this. Perfect. You can see it strobes in that sense, which looks really good. I want to show you the next one real quick. We have this clip transitioning into this one, and you can see we've already masked the girl in this frame, and we've already put the freeze frame right here before. You can always adjust the time of this freeze frame depending on your footage. Now just go to the opacity and the mask settings for that clip. You can invert the selection so that you can see everything but the model. We have selected everything but the mask. Okay, now you can go back to that freeze frame, go to the effect controls, add a keyframe for scaling and position, drag those keyframes to the end since this is the end result. At the beginning I want us to scale into this space, so we'll need to scale in and also adjust the position. Then I will keep on scaling in and changing the position. Okay, once we can't see anything, we can push these keyframes to the beginning, or you can always adjust this time. Now let's just preview it. Okay, not bad. I can bring these keyframes a bit more closer. Okay, so it should go something like this. Okay, one more thing that you need to do on these keyframes, highlight the first keyframes, right click and put them on ease out, then click on the second set of keyframes, put them on ease in. What that will do, it will technically just change the velocity of how this transition will look like. And once you do all those changes, you should have something that looks like this. Yeah, that's perfect. Now I want to show you a different variation to that. Same set of clips right here with the subject on a freeze frame. I will extend the length of this freeze frame, right click and nest it. Okay, now once you nest it, go to your effects. You can add a basic 3D, put it on the nest, again search fast blur, it should be under obsolete, add it right there, and then go to the effect controls, add a keyframe for swivel and tilt, drag those keyframes to the end since that's our end result. Right at the beginning we can swivel the model or the character like that. We can also tilt her so that it gives us kind of a 3D feel. Not bad. You can give it something that like this. Let's see, now it should come something like this. And then I also want us to add keyframes for the first blur. Add a keyframe, drag that keyframe to the end, and then we can put the value at 10, maybe set it at the same time with this other one. And then you can also maybe add a keyframe for opacity so that it kind of appears in the middle of the frame like that. Let's just preview. Yeah, that's really slick, man. She kind of flies in into perspective. Yeah, and this is the last freeze frame for this tutorial. Thank you for watching if you are still here so far. Now this is a very underrated freeze frame. So what I basically did, I basically masked different elements from the first frame of this clip that we are transitioning into. I drew a mask around this building, I drew a mask around this bus, red bus, and then I also drew a mask around this structure. So you just want to have some multiple items on the screen, and all you need to do is just to animate them with keyframes. So I will begin with the first one, which is right beneath, which is the building. Add a keyframe for position. You can also add a keyframe for scaling if you need to. In this case, I will just add the keyframe for position, drag it to the end. Towards the beginning, I will drag the building from down. Okay, now we'll have this one coming up like that. Then I will disable this layer, re-enable this one. Now I want us to keyframe this bus. Okay, so add a keyframe for scaling and position in this context, push those keyframes to the end, and then right now we can scale the bus up, just making sure that you can see it. I will keep on readjusting. I want us to scale into it a bit. Okay, that's enough. And then you can have it come from the left hand side, like right here. And then let me look at the keyframes for the previous one right there. I will match them with these ones. So now the red bus also appears like this. And then we can work on the last structure, which is this one. Add a keyframe for position and scale, push those to the end since this is our end result. Towards the beginning, maybe we can scale it so that it's big enough, and then we also want it to come from above since everything else has been coming from the side. The building came from the bottom, so we just want to have something that can play with the visuals. So just try to consider such things. Okay, drag it off screen just on top, and it should drop down like that. So if I re-enable all these other layers, this is what we have. Perfect. Even Central will be excited for me. Oh, looks good. Now it doesn't end here. We can still spice this up. I'll put an adjustment layer, 6 frames once again from the cut. So 3 frames to each side. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. If you have the Sapphire shake, please just get the Sapphire shake. If you don't have the Sapphire shake, please get that plugin. I will also link it down below. Add a Sapphire shake onto that adjustment layer. You don't even need to change anything, and it will piece it up very well. If they are dropping too soon enough, you can extend the length and then also extend the keyframes as well. I just felt like it was a bit too fast for my liking. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect. So it will just drag in with a shake. They will all join like a fucking puzzle. And just like that, you have something like that going on. So those are some creative freeze frames that I wanted to show you today. Kindly comment down below with your favorite one out of all of these 5 that I've just showed you today. Again, this serves as a sequel to a previous tutorial that we've done of the same on 7 freeze frame transitions that you can do, of which we did on After Effects. You can also check this video right here before this video ends. Again, feel free to check out my digital store at dannyjames.co for preset packs and LUTs that you might find useful. My name is Danny James. See you guys on the next tutorial. Peace.